had to do with the Vikings.
Yeah, but I'm sure you were surmising something that made no sense.
Someone surmises on top of you.
Okay. Adam Thielen, wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings, joins us every Monday and Friday throughout the football season. Hi, Adam.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Can we start with something weird? I think viral is probably overstating this, but on Twitter yesterday, there was a couple of people arguing about, by the way, fix any of this. If any of this is wrong, correct me, because I'm just going off of what I read yesterday. Do you have a cousin that is currently playing college football?
I do not.
Okay. Then I have a lot of questions.
I don't think I do either.
Because there was somebody on Twitter yesterday saying that there is a Thielen in college football that some people believed was related to you, but then in the pronunciation guide for that college, it said that that person's name is pronounced Thielen, T-E-E. So then the Twitter wave was, have we been mispronouncing Adam Thielen's name the whole time, but he's Minnesota passive-aggressive and hasn't corrected us? So I was going to ask you, have we been mispronouncing your name forever? But apparently that's not your cousin, so all of this is irrelevant.
You are correct, yes.
Okay, so Thielen is correct.
I would have corrected you guys, trust me.
That would have been fascinating if the entire world had called you Thielen this entire time and you were never mean enough to say it's actually Thielen, but there's no turning back the clock. All right, so we had it right. So everybody that was saying that on Twitter yesterday, completely incorrect.
You are correct. It's funny, though, because people jokingly or like nickname-ish call me Thielen, so...
Really?
So I've been called Thielen before, but it was more of a nickname thing, I guess.
Got it. Sarcastic more than anything else.
Right.
Adam, this is not as good of a question as what Corey asked, but
thanks.
It's a two-part question. Do you guys have like employee of the month where you work?
Wait.
No, but I have a follow-up. I have a legit follow-up. Because it should go to the staff that keeps you guys all healthy, because there is no one on your injury report week 8 of the season.
Why?
That's a good point. I feel like we should have that and have like the parking spot with the sign.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. I'm gonna bring that up at our next leadership council meeting.
But in all honesty, though, your training staff has done an incredible job. The only person on your injury report is Jalen Naylor, and he was a full participant in practice yesterday. It's incredible. The Cardinals have 40 people on it.
Yeah, I think that stuff, it goes back to OTAs. It goes back to training camp. I think a lot of times people think like, they're not doing a good job like in season or something like that, or maybe they're what are they doing that's causing these injuries, whatever. But I think it's a cumulative effect. I think when they had a plan from the day they got here, this whole staff, and it wasn't just one person. It was literally, it has to be a collaborative thing. Like everyone has to be on the same page. Coaches, players, training staff, strength staff. Like everyone has to be on the same page. And that was the biggest thing when the news regime change happened. Was the thing you noticed is from day one, everybody was on the same page of how they were going to schedule things, how they were going to take care of us. But at the same time, we were going to work. And it's been cool to kind of see that plan come full circle, and you see the effects of it and how you feel on Sundays and things like that. And it's kind of funny. You look back to those OTAs and coach literally detailed it out from, okay, this is what OTA is going to look like. This is what training camp's going to look like, and then this is what the season's going to look like, and how we're going to progress through the season, how we're going to handle things. So it's kind of cool to see.
Adam, 2-part question: do you like ice cream?
I love ice cream. I used to like literally sit at night when I was a kid and have like the whole tub and just start going to town on it, which is probably why I was slow in high school.
Thank you.
Where's the second part?
Well, you did.
You never came to the second
you
part.
never had a
did you?
second
It's
part,
okay.
yeah.
You said two-part question, then just asked him one question.
No,
It's
my
okay.
first part was, do you have employee of the month? And my second part was, it should go to
That's not a
the
question.
training
Yeah.
staff.
That's not a
was-
question.
It's okay.
Statement.
We'll break that down after Adam's done. Adam Thielen is our guest, and he's confused, I'm sure. And he is brought to you by the Thielen Foundation and ETS Performance. I want to talk to you about Thielen Foundation in a moment, but before we do, I played a soundbite right before you called. You were saying that defenses are getting very aggressive with you this year. Tell me why they're doing that.
That's a good question. I don't know. The last 4 weeks have been interesting. I feel like the coach is telling, hey, do whatever you got to do. Just grab them, hold them. I don't care. But I don't know what the reasoning for that is. But I think it might have something to do with kind of a lot of our splits are tight splits. We don't have a lot of splits where we're wide and outside of the numbers. And I think it's kind of a mentality of when teams do that, they're trying to get you to play off coverage, and they're trying to get free releases and be able to kind of dictate what you do. And I think maybe they're starting to say, all right, like forget that. We're not going to let them dictate what we're going to do. We're just going to be physical and go up there and press.
Don't you get to the point, though, where you want to go over to the refs and go, can you not see what's happening here?
Yeah, well, I feel like there's been last week there was a few times in the game that's like, I mean, it's absurd. I mean, it's obnoxious. I mean, it's very clear that the entire play I'm getting absolutely mugged, I guess. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of a good defensive strategy at times if a crew is not calling those penalties, and they find out early in the game like what they can get away with, and then if a crew's not calling those penalties, they say, you know what, that's going to be our advantage, and they're going to continue to do that.
Hey, Adam, possibly a 3 or 4 part question. You're not exactly sure how far I'm going with this, but coming off of a bye week, when you get back into the rhythm of game week, like you guys just did, is it like you hit the ground running? Does it take a day or two to shake off cobwebs? Does your body feel great because it's had the extra rest? I guess I'll stop at 3.
Yeah, no, it's that's a good question, because you would think that you kind of come back and you feel fresh and you feel ready to go. And I think, again, they did a really good job of we came in Monday and had like kind of a short practice. And then obviously come back Wednesday, have like a normal Wednesday practice. And you never feel good on Wednesday during the season. You just never feel good. It's kind of a grind through at practice. And then usually Thursday and Friday is when you start feeling like, oh, okay, like I actually feel really good. And I think there's a reason for that, and I think they did a really good job of progressing us. But long story short, you don't feel great coming back those first couple of practices. But then now is when you're starting to feel it Friday morning. You're like, oh, I actually feel really good. And it's probably because, you didn't play a game 4 or 5 days ago, and then just having that extra rest. But right away you're like, oh, man, like I thought we came off a bye. We should be feeling a lot better than this.
Adam Thielen, one final thing, and this I got in the email the other day, and I think it's only fair that we bring it up. The Thielen Foundation pledges $1 million gift to be shared by 8 Minnesota-based nonprofit organizations. Man, that's great. Now, over $1.5 million has been invested back into the Minnesota community since December of 2021. We talk about this all the time. That's something you don't have to do, and you do it anyway, and we appreciate, man. That's really great. Congratulations.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's for us. It feels like it feels like you almost feel like you have to do it because of what this community has done for us. It's been home for my wife and I for forever, and a place that has supported us and been with us since the beginning. So it's almost more exciting for us than anyone. So we're definitely appreciative of what we've been given, and we feel like that's a big. When you've been given a lot, much is expected, and that's what we're trying to return the favor.
Adam, I was at your event at Topgolf, and it's such an awesome event. It was really cool, really fun. But I got a quick question for you, because Jim Rich couldn't find you to do a live spot on Fox 9, so he grabbed me, and I had to do it without my tooth. So where the hell were you?
Oh, that's great. You were on TV without your tooth.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's much better content right there than me being on TV. So I appreciate that. But I don't even know where I was that night. It was a little bit of I was everywhere, and I didn't even get. You guys know how much I love golf. I didn't even get to swing a golf club.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you were running around like mad. But no, it's an awesome event. Thank you, Adam, for everything you do.
I appreciate it.
You're the best, man. Thank you very much. Good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, buddy.
Get him.
All right, guys, before we go to break,
Thielen.
Zacho, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, immediately, we need a sound effect that is, just celebration. Blah, 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 blah. And it needs to be, congratulations, you have won the Good Question Award. Because we've been talking about doing this forever. And whenever you're doing an interview, as the interviewer, whenever somebody says, that's a good question, it really makes your nipples hard.
Yeah.
It really does. And we always compete to see who's going to be the first to get it.
We are.
And today, it was Marty Gellner.
It was not Sauce's two-part question.
The Good
Set
Question
the tone.
Award.
Set the tone, though, Sus. Great job, Marty.
Yeah.
Good
Well
job.
done, Martin.
You've got it.
Damn.
I know. Rose is excited.
Rose.
Oh, man. Good for you,
Remember
Marge.
when Chrissy Teigen did an Instagram video, like within the last 2 years, probably, where she's talking to her mom and she's like, yeah, the internet can't believe that our last name is pronounced Teigen. And then she looked at her mom. She's like, Mom, what is our last name? And her mom goes, Teigen. And Chrissy's like,
Didn't
"See?"
know that. Yeah.
And people still call her Chrissy Teigen.
Yep.
And I don't know if she was punking people or what, but
Sure.
Thielen,
Yep.
Teigen, Teigen.
Can't go away from Thielen now. Even if he
No.
had said actually
It's too
technically it is pronounced Thielen,
Yeah.
I'd say, it's too bad.
I've
It's
told you
over.
guys this
It's too
before
late.
about my last name, but it's actually pronounced Smith.
Really?
It's a very odd
spelling
thing. I know. Yeah,
throws me.
we can't spell
Ladies and
well.
gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
So the last couple of days, Matthew Perry, formerly of Friends, has been just burning bridges left and right. And we're like, what's going on with Matt?
Come on,
we're all
Matt.
happy that you're alive and kicking. We're happy that you're, you're on the path of sobriety. Good for you, Matt. We all loved you. You're freaking Chandler Bing. Let's go. But then he hurt us all right in our heart when he said he doesn't understand why Keanu Reeves is alive.
Yeah, he
Like,
did
what-
say that. Yeah.
What the hell does
Twice.
What the hell does he have against Keanu Reeves, right? He had reacted to the deaths of River Phoenix and Chris Farley, his friends, and said, quote, River was a beautiful man inside and out, too beautiful for this world, it turned out. It always seemed to be the really talented guys who go down. Why is it that the original thinkers like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger die, but Keanu Reeves still walks among us? And we're like, we all said that
Yikes.
yesterday and the day before, whatever, like, what the hell did Keanu Reeves, a guy universally loved, what did he do to Matt Perry where out of nowhere Matt Perry goes off the top rope and says Keanu Reeves
Do we know now?
should be dead? We do.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
If this is the truth, this is exactly, I think I suggested this, but maybe we all kind of agreed. This is, to me, this was the most logical explanation if it's the truth. Or he's just covering his tracks. Matthew Perry released a statement to People magazine saying, I'm actually a big fan of Keanu. I just chose a random name. My mistake. I apologize. I should have said my own name instead. So he's claiming that was just the first name that popped
buy
into his
that.
head. That makes
Yeah.
sense to me
Yeah, I buy
because if unless you're giving a specific reason why you hate Keanu Reeves, it makes sense that he just picked a name at random.
And the
Everybody
original
loves
statement,
Keanu Reeves.
the original statement came from an interview when he.
I think it's from his memoir, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
not a
memoir,
name.
yeah. It's in the book.
When you're writing, though,
Yeah.
that is not random.
Correct.
When you have time to proofread and change, and that is not random. If it's a
Fair.
verbal interview with Jimmy Kimmel and it
Right.
came out of the top of my head, that's different.
All right, either way,
I guess, yeah.
you can believe it or not believe it. His explanation is he just picked a name at random.
No.
First name that popped into his head was Keanu Reeves, and he said he should have said his own name instead.
Nah.
So that at least makes me feel better that Keanu Reeves is as nice as everybody
He
says that
has
he
to
is.
be.
Yeah.
That he didn't wrong Matthew Perry in any way.
Yeah.
Matthew's saying Keanu was just the first name I thought of.
And I've never written a book. I never will. I barely read them. But don't you think through the editing process, the publisher or the
Yeah.
editor was like,
Yeah.
do you really want to leave this in here? Yeah.
Yep.
Like you don't
That's
you think?
conscious.
Well, the editor probably just thought it was Matthew Perry's artistic choice to
Yeah,
just
and he's like,
randomly
"Oh, this is
pick.
going to sell some books."
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, guess what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, right.
Matthew Perry's book.
Yeah, if I'm that editor, I go to Matthew Perry and say, 2-part question. Do you hate Keanu Reeves?
So here's the problem. In my head, I thought that was great, but then I realized I didn't ask a second question.
I think you think a 2-part question involves a question and a comment.
Yeah.
Because you did make a comment after
Yeah.
your question, but that's, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan 5 is next. Initials in about 20
Yeah,
minutes.
come on now.
This is your Adam Thielen leader of the fan.